From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning here on the Mornings LALATE with incredible details about your fourth stimulus check updated 2021 today as the president calls the vote. We'll be going over the breaking news as the president of the United States calls the vote for the reconciliation process of the fourth stimulus check. Wow. We'll be going over the monthly stimulus check from those Democrats and how you're going to get it and what's at issue. Then we turn to fifth stimulus that heats up this fall that raises up your benefits a lifetime, but also has another stimulus check in there as well. OMG. And then in the middle of this video, we go over $1,000 you can get right now. And viewers continue to get it. It's your day to get it as well. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here. Let's get to this incredible breaking news this morning, starting right now on Mornings LALATE. Doing. It's a beautiful morning, and I'm excited for you to join me on this gorgeous day. But I'm being facetious. It's just hot. It's just very hot. It's a very bad heat wave today, at least here in Southern California. And I've seen the comments from you about your heat waves, so I wish you the best. Tell me where you're watching from and how the weather is. And if there's a heat wave, wave to the heat wave. It needs to go away. Hi, heat wave, go away. That's what I'm doing with the one here. It's expected to pass by the end of today, hopefully. Oh, Lord. In this fourth stimulus check updated 2021 today, we'll be going over that monthly stimulus check that the Democrats want you to go have, and we'll be going over the breaking news, the president calling the vote. OMG. Yes, something got under his feet, and it may be Boris, it may be a Vladimir Putin got him a little bit ramped up to sort of get things going. We'll be getting to that details in this breaking news report of Mornings LALATE. Then the second half of the video will be cutting to fifth stimulus that raise your benefits up lifetime. And why we learned yesterday that the benchmark may be astronomically higher than we ever thought. Oh, wow. This is wonderful news. And then the middle of this video, we get to the $1,000 you can get right now, and viewers continue to get it. So what do? We subscribe. This is LALATE, the only 24-hour-a-day, 7 days a week financial news channel in the United States. Live in the morning, taped in the afternoons. I'm next back with you with Mornings Crypto right after this show, followed by noontime LALATE at 11 a.m. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Next stop, 1 million. 400,000 in 1 year. Hit that subscribe button right now. Also like this video. 1, 2, 3,000 likes. Every time you like the video, the heat wave goes away. I'm just trying that, see if it works. Anything to get this heat wave to go away. And consider becoming a member. Let's get right into that fourth stimulus by understanding the House bill and the Senate proposal and what's at flux today. Well, that House bill provides a monthly stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The Senate proposal, on the other hand, provides a stimulus check from July to December. So less checks with the senators, more checks with the House members. Let's look at the payouts. House members, they want in their bill $1,000 a month after the first month. The senators, the amount monthly is unknown, but word on the street is it's this. OMG. Yes, this is reportedly what senators, Democrats want you to have. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000. Or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400. That is per person. Now let's go back to some of the macroeconomic factors they may be modifying the situation. And those are namely the issue of whether the pandemic is over. If the pandemic is over, then that would result in stimulus checks for just 12 months, which would be 12 months of stimulus checks and those 12 months of stimulus checks would amount to $13,000 from the House bill. Compare that to the senators over 6 months, this amount. I think you have an opinion. House or Senate, tell me which one you like right now. Jump into the live chat right now and tell me, House or Senate, which one are you voting for? And tell me where you're tuning in from and how the weather is. House or Senate right now. Now, what else do you need to know about that forced stimulus check? Let's go over all those details. First, the forced stimulus check, the Democrats want the eligibility to be the same as a third stimulus check. So the Democrats want you to have a forced stimulus check if you had a third stimulus check. Yes. So if you're a single individual, Democrats would give you a forced stimulus check if you make less than $75,000. Married couple, $150,000 or less, Democrats would give you a forced stimulus check. Double it. Family of four, Democrats would give you a forced stimulus check. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, the Democrats would give you a forced stimulus check. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans benefits. The forced stimulus check is not income, so it's not taxable. The forced stimulus check would come as a monthly stimulus check, not as waves of checks. So don't try to wave at the check, because the check can't wave back at you, and you'll think it's a rude check. Hi, check, how are you? How's the heat wave? It didn't wave back at me. How rude is that check? There you go. The Democrats represent that the final vote would be by July 4th. More about the first vote coming up in just a second in this video. And the Democrats represent that the forced stimulus check, the first check, would go out in the month of July for the month of July, in the month of August for the month of August. And there you go. That is your first of three parts of your forced stimulus check updated 2021 in this video. Coming up in the second part, we go over calling the vote and what the president did yesterday in calling the vote. Wonderful news. But first, let's get a preview of the second half of this video. And it's fifth stimulus, which will have another stimulus check in there, but it's for next year. They do not overlap, and I'll explain how they don't overlap. It's all wonderful. Then we have no less than 3 breaking news stories about fifth stimulus, including that your checks will start coming faster and quicker. No more about that surprises, and that your benefits may be lifted to the highest number you've ever seen in a generation. It's all breaking this morning on Mornings. Now, let's cut back to some big money that I want you to get right now, and viewers have been killing it. If you're new to this channel, what I do is I get people money. I get people money, and you're doing a wonderful job at it. What is this money? Rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, homeowners utilities, because it's tens of thousands of dollars. That's your money, a lot more than a stimulus check, and you have been doing a great job on getting that. If you've gotten $1 or $100,000, trust me, I've gotten both for viewers of this channel, jump into the live chat, because it really inspires me and inspires other people to know about the big money they can get, and inspires them to go get it as well. So let's get a pen and paper ready, or if you must, a Crayola crown, so long as it matches my shirt, and let's get that money. But first, let me go over the items you need to know. When considering rent, it's a lot of money. It's about $5,000, about 4 to 6 months of rent. There is utilities, mortgage assistance, and homeowners utilities, but each place has different eligibility, which I'm about to show you. So if you get no from one place, reach out to the next until you get a yes. All right, you ready? You're going to reach out to 6 places: City Hall, City Housing Authority; County Hall, County Housing Authority; State Hall, State Housing Authority. Keywords you're going to say is rent assistance because of COVID. Rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage assistance because of COVID. You don't say words that they don't know, so do not say stimulus. And don't say Mark Meadows. Who is that? That sounds really familiar, that name. Don't say words or names they don't know. And there you go. That is wonderful details, and congratulations to Tim and Linda who got this money in recent days. The next pot of the money, oh boy, the next pot of money. One viewer got $6,000 from this last week. Yes, another viewer got $5,000 yesterday. Lynn Glenn got it for herself, for her son, and her mom. Gail got it. What is it? It's SNAP. Viewers are getting tens of thousands, are getting thousands of dollars from this every single day, and it's your turn to get it as well. Eligibility is the same as a stimulus check, and what is it? It is money for your food. It is money for your food. You get it from reaching out to Department of Agriculture. They administer it. How much do they pay? About $16,000 for a family of 4 in Hawaii. Wow, why so much? Because of 2 wonderful executive orders, one from Trump and one from Biden, that raised your benefits up 15% nationally, everyone between now and December. So go get it. $15,000, $16,000 for a family of 4 in Hawaii, SNAP, $5,000 for rent. We are killing it, and we are only 10 minutes into this video. Well, I got $5,000 of more money for you right now. And what is it from? It's from your states. The federal government has identified states as overpaying you due to computer error, and then asking you to return the money, which you did. Well, the federal government has now ordered the states to return the money back to you and tell them to upgrade their computers. So that money is coming back to you. One viewer got $5,000 from it. How do you get it? Automatically via direct deposit to the account you have on file with your unemployment department. When reach out to your state for routing times, and hope when you ask, their computers are up to date so they can check on it. A little inside joke there. But there you go. The next pot of the money is wonderful. Margaret got it, Cod got it, and viewers continue to get it. If you got it as well, jump in the live chat right now. It is money back from that unemployment refund. Oh boy, exciting news. We're going to go over how much, when you get it, the tracking of this, and it starts right now. You're getting back that refund that you paid taxes on for 2020 of that unemployment assistance. The details are the following. First, how much? Let's say you had $9,000 on unemployment assistance, of which $5,000 was your total tax bill. $4,000 was your taxes on unemployment assistance. You're getting back $4,000. Where? Direct deposit if you had that set up on your return, otherwise in the mail. When? Month of June. How? You need to track it. Well, go to irs.gov, and 70% of the time it works. 70% of the time it works. You put in your username and password, and it will reveal the tax return you filed, the taxes you paid, and the refund check you're getting. OMG. Can we get better than that news? And we can. And it's a second of your three parts of your fourth stimulus check updated 2021, starting right now. Biden has done it. He has called the vote on the fourth stimulus check package. He did it yesterday. And later in this video, I go over sort of the angst of maybe why he did it. But he clearly was being pissed off by something else. And I think it was either Vladimir Putin or Ron Portman. But being annoyed by something got him over the edge. And he said, stop this silliness. We're calling step one's voting next week. Wow. So your questions have finally been answered. You've been asking me, and now you've been saying, I understand the 9 voting steps that you've been educating us about, and we understand that step 9 is July 4th. When step 1? Well, the president's now said, step 1 is next week. Oh, yes. But Biden did something else. He has signed overseas an international treaty which anchors forced stimulus over the finish line by making it easier to pass forced stimulus because now the corporate tax rate, global corporate tax rate, has been raised. And by doing that, he makes it easier for the Democratic senators and House members to pass forced stimulus. No longer are provisions needed in the stimulus package about certain things because they're now covered by that international treaty. OMG. How do we get there? Let's go over all the details. We started with Jalapal. Yes, the author of that House monthly stimulus check, when she wrote Schumer a letter saying, call the vote. Well, we're calling the vote now. That letter was signed by 12 House Democrats who said that we need to call the vote. But those 12 House Democrats are among the 100-plus House Democrats who had written the president a letter a week earlier saying, Mr. President, when we do the fourth stimulus bill, we're going to put monthly stimulus checks in there. OMG, can we get better than that? More wonderful news than that? We can. When 7 House Democrats wrote the president a letter about a week ago saying that when they write the fourth stimulus check package, they're going to put monthly fourth stimulus checks in there. Oh, wow. Who are these people to say that they're doing that? What do they do for a living? Well, they're on that subcommittee of the House that's solely and exclusively responsible for writing stimulus checks in the U.S. Congress, House of Representatives. Really? Did they write our first stimulus check? They did. Did they write our second stimulus check? They did. Did they write the third? They did. And now they say they're writing the fourth? They say they are. They also say they're currently marking up the bill. Wow. Now that's wonderful news. And it's not done there yet. They also say they're going to be writing a 5th stimulus check this fall. More about that details coming up in the second half of this video. Wow, now that's wonderful news. Can we top that? We can. As the president does it, he signed into law an international treaty which makes forced stimulus get yanked to the edge of the finish line, making it easier to pass it. I'll explain those details starting right now. It started on a recent Tuesday when I said something the president had done was great, but complicated. I need to slow it down, so I'm going to slow it down right now. Forced stimulus is paid for by raising the U.S. corporate tax rate. That is the tax rate that corporations pay in the United States. Easy breezy to understand. Well, the president had said at the time he was worried that if he raised the U.S. corporate tax rate, U.S. corporations may leave our soils and go to another country where the corporate tax rate is lower. So he reached out to the G7 countries around the globe to have them raise the minimum global corporate tax rate. And they said yes, tentatively. Good news. To which that president that recent Tuesday ago reached out to his legislators and said, later this year around Christmas, after forced stimulus passed for several months earlier, we're going to get those G7 countries to sign on the dotted line. And if they do, then I will drop the U.S. corporate tax rate closer to where it is right now. Wow, now that's wonderful news. Can we top that? We did. When the president surprised everyone, after I tipped you off about him potentially doing this about a week ago, last weekend, he traveled internationally for his first trip international as president of the United States to have the G7 countries sign into law right now that provision, not wait to December, that now anchors forced stimulus right to the edge of the finish line right before it's called to a vote by making it easier to pass forced stimulus because the provisions are now covered in an international treaty about that U.S. corporate and global corporate tax rate. Wow, now that is wonderful news. Can we top that? Yes, we can. With a third part of our Forced Stimulus Check update coming up after this commercial break. But first, the volunteers. The volunteers can top that as well. If you're having problems getting that rent, utilities, and mortgage assistance, reach out to the community page. The volunteers are viewers just like you. They embody the Purple Power spirit. This channel was launched last year with me getting people money. My focus is getting people money. This is not the Stimulus Psychic Network. We don't track checks or guess about checks. What do? Is we cash checks. And the volunteers will help you get that rent, utilities, and mortgage assistance if you can't find it as well. So how do you find them? Open the description to this video. In the description to this video, you'll see an emoji. That emoji is a house. Next to the house is a link to the community page, news.lalate.com/community. Click the link and it'll send you to the community page. And there you'll see a picture of some kitty cats. Lower on the page are the volunteers. Reach out to them and help you get that rent and utility and mortgage assistance and SNAP. But here's a little bit about them. I'll be back in 60 seconds with big exciting news still about fifth stimulus. Oh, boy, it's exciting news. And more exciting news about fourth stimulus coming up after this commercial break. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues now on Mornings LA. The toast is toast and the coffee is brewing. In the second half of this Mornings LA broadcast, we got a lot of details coming up in this extended mornings broadcast. But first, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video. It helps the heat wave go away. Or it helps the algorithm ranking as well. And consider becoming a member. In the second half of this video, we'll be going over fourth stimulus and also fifth stimulus. A lot of exciting details that are coming up right now. Let's jump into fifth stimulus right now. Fifth stimulus is really surprising a lot of people with a lot of wonderful breaking news. Number one, the stimulus check. You've been surprised about this one, so let me go over the details you need to know about this fifth stimulus check. First, when is this fifth stimulus check going to happen? In reconciliation this fall. When would the reconciliation be done? About October, November. When would the fifth stimulus check go out? It would likely be for 2022. So no overlap whatsoever with the fourth stimulus check if that is just for this year. Great news for that. Number two, the president has dedicated $1 billion to Social Security Administration Fund to ensure your stimulus checks, to ensure your benefits checks, or any other checks are gone out on time going forward. He's ramping up the entire system with staffing, new computers, and everything. I haven't seen a lot of excitement from viewers about this, which is ironic because I'm very excited about this one. You know, through all earlier this year, I had hundreds of videos about my third stimulus check is delayed and I'm on benefits and I'm in my third wave, I'm in the fourth wave, I'm late, Direct Express by Comerica hasn't given me my stimulus check. All that horribleness would be going away. Wonderful news. And finally, the big surprising details are currently unfolding on Capitol Hill right now. The Federal Reserve Chairman, Jerome Powell, is testifying on Capitol Hill today. He's expected to stay on script unless someone pushes him off script. His script is inflation rate will be going up. I can't really tell you more about it. But that's expected that is what he's expected to say. Here's what you need to know what happened yesterday. Yesterday, the producer price index number was released, which is sister to, or brother to the consumer price index number. Both numbers show inflation is going through the roof. But for the first time since I've been recording this, we now see analysts really moving to a certain new set of numbers. You had heard me talk about inflation maybe 2 to 7%. No more. They're now talking about inflation currently at about 4% and heading to 10%. This is huge and wonderful news for your fifth stimulus benefits, which will have a benchmark of inflation. They think that the inflation rate is currently 4% now, is going up, and is going to hit a peak of about 10% and then come back down sometime thereafter. Let's go over now how that impacts fifth stimulus and apply it to the fifth stimulus SSI reform. That fifth stimulus will raise your benefits up a lifetime. Then it would apply a new inflationary benchmark. Remove the asset limit, remove the income exclusion, and remove the marriage penalty. Let's go over all the details of that, starting right now. First, they're going to raise your benefits up a lifetime. Incredible news. This is you if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Veterans benefits, Survivor benefits, multiple benefits. Then they'll apply the benchmark of inflation every December for the next year. The first time they would apply it is this December or November. Here's what you need to know, is that when they apply the benchmark, you step up or stay the same. You never step down. So you have to hope that as that inflation goes up to 10%, the highest number of almost 50 years, that when it hits that number, it's about the time that they're applying your benchmark. Because if that's the case, your benefits will raise up 10%, not just next year, but lifetime. It's astronomical. It is absolutely huge and wonderful. Then under fifth stimulus, they're going to remove the asset cap that dates back to a 1980s law that says you can't have more than $3,000 in hand, just in time to get those stimulus checks in your hand. They're going to remove the income cap dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work. Now you'll be able to work if you want to. And they're going to remove the marriage penalty. Viewers like Sandy and Rob will be able to get married and no longer fear the marriage penalty. No one will ever be penalized for being married or lose benefits. And that's fifth stimulus. What's really important for you to know is that the reason why these videos are longer is there's so much breaking news, but more importantly, to show you the analysis. Especially when we're talking about SSI reform, no person ever again should be in the comments saying, what about the $200 for SSI? Why? Because this inflationary benchmark is astronomically more money. It's so much more money, I can't even describe how much more money it is. And the only thing you should be asking is, when are they going to get called for a vote? This makes the $200 a month ridiculously small when comparing it to this. Now, here's what you also need to know, is that there's a lot of other money in a fifth stimulus, fourth stimulus, and third stimulus for you to get. If you're in the live chat, you know people who have purple hawk emojis next to their names, they're members. Members are sent every day from me via the community page on YouTube, a breakdown of everything in third stimulus that you are entitled to get money for, fourth stimulus, and fifth stimulus. It's thousands and thousands of dollars. What this channel does is it helps viewers cash checks, not track checks. So while people may want to talk about a $1,400 third stimulus check, I rather talk about $5,000, $10,000, $16,000 that viewers continue to get day in, day out from this channel because of the breakdowns of third, fourth, and fifth stimulus for them. So consider becoming a member to learn about the money that's for you, that's application-based, being sent to you daily. The link is in the top of the channel in the pinned comments. Which brings us back to forced stimulus, and no less than 5 items I want to go over with you about forced stimulus right now in our third part of our update this morning. First, we'll be going over my personal message. Second, we'll be going over routing times and voting times, which you've been asking about. Third, we'll be going over fake narratives. Fourth, we'll be going over Purple Power Push. And fifth, we'll put it all together and combine it and see how it relates to one another. First, a personal message. You've been doing a great job. Your Purple Power pushing has been excellent. It's important to note that this is not the stimulus check network. And at home, at work, on the beach, on the front porch, no one should engage in the stimulus check network conversation, which is, do you think stimulus psychic network conversation. Do you think the stimulus check will be coming? This is not a stimulus psychic network. You should never be a participant in the stimulus psychic network. I predict, I see the future, I think. What do you think? Why? Because these are legislators. Legislators are currently marking up the bill, we learned earlier in this video. One viewer yesterday said, what does marking up mean? It literally means there's a draft and they have a pen and they're making marks on the draft. We have 3 emojis on the channel, not bill yet, not law yet, and donut. As they continue to amend the piece of paper, modify it, things can go in and things can go out. So there's no place for anyone to be a psychic in the prediction of the situation. Number 2, it's important to know the voting process. You've been excellent in knowing that the final 9th step is July 4th, no later, passing it into law. But you've also been wondering, when does step 1 start? Now we know. The president said step 1 starts next week. So let's go over those 9 steps with step 5, 7, and 8, the most important steps. Step 1, the procedural bill is called for a vote in the subcommittee of the House. Step 2, the procedural bill is called for a vote on the House floor. Step 3, the procedural vote is called for a vote on the Senate floor. And step 4, the procedural vote is signed into law by the president. At that point, the tow truck has passed over the finish line. Time to get the tow hitch. Step 5. Step 5, the House subcommittee votes on the substantive bill, which they have been marking up. Yes, so this is the point in which the marking up is done and they call for a vote. If those House subcommittee members want to put a monthly stimulus check in there, this is when they do. Step 6, the House votes on the substantive bill. Step 7 and 8, the 2-day Senate vote-a-rama. That's actually what it's called. During that 48 hours, senators amend potentially anything they got from the House by bill. So, 3 possibilities. 1, there is no stimulus check delivered in the House bill to the senators. They amend it and put it in there. Possibility number 2, there is a stimulus check in there and they like it, they leave it alone. Or possibility number 3, there's a stimulus check in there and they don't like it and they amend it. And finally, step 9, the president signs into law. Number 3, fake narratives. During the commercial break, one of the people in the live chat who's not a subscriber or member was delivering a fake narrative. And I put that on timeout. Fake narrative, the person said, I heard that they're trying to talk about fake narrative. This is why you want to be a subscriber or a member. The fake narrative started last Friday. And it's important to note that these fake narratives are fake, that they don't do anything, and all they do is deliver fakeness. Who are the fake narrative people? They are the problem creators, the protagonista, Democrat out of Arizona, and then a series of exiting Republican senators who are 2 feet out the door that are quitting, that want to look like they're doing something in their 11th hour as a congressional senator. Well, the president yesterday, while meeting with Vladimir Putin, getting ready to meet with Vladimir Putin, clearly heard one of the fake narrators talking, Ron Portman. And Ron Portman tried to appear on broadcast news and act like he was involved with the negotiations of the president's forced stimulus package. It's about as ridiculous can be. Why? because Ron Portman has represented the wrongest part of the stimulus coverage since day one of the situation. Ron Portman, in July of 2020, as Americans were ravaged by the pandemic, losing their homes, their cars, and their businesses, told people that he wanted to end your FPUC and that you need to get back to work and that you're lazy. That Ron Portman. He's a senator. He's a senator and a Republican, which is important to understand that no senator at this point is looked upon favorably who is quitting, because it throws the dynamic and the balance of power of their party at issue. The reason why Bernie Sanders did not take a place in the administration was they didn't want to lose a Democratic seat. Ron Portman is now vacating his Republican seat, leaving that seat potentially to be taken by a Democrat. So he's not liked by Democrats, he's not liked by Republicans. And imagine you're the president overseas and you're seeing Ron Portman talk about your bill. I think he got a little bit upset if it was not Vladimir Putin being in the room with him. And to which that the president said, call the vote next week. I'm just tired of all this. If it's not Ron Johnson, it's Ron Portman. And that is likely what's going on. So fake narrative, you're expected to hear fake narrative all the way to the finish line. None of these people represent anyone from either side to get a deal. So ignore it and discount it. Because what these people are doing is, one, trying to get campaign donations for the re-election campaign. Two, get campaign donations for a higher office they want to run for. Three, get a book deal or advance their political future in some way. In some cases, try to get a booking as an analyst on a cable news channel when they quit from Congress. I wonder who that would be. So there you go. Finally, the important thing, which is purple power pushing. You've been doing a good job, and you need to continue to push. Why is it important to push when we're talking about forced stimulus? It's important because congressional leaders are there to represent your interests, but they don't know what your mindset is or your interests are if you don't express them. They don't know how much you need a stimulus check now if they don't hear it from you. In 2020, they didn't really need to hear it from your mouth. They understood where this economy was, what the desecration of the pandemic was. But in 2021, as America reopens, as California reopened yesterday, they need to hear from you that you're still in debt, that you still are struggling. This week, 6 more states are ending unemployment FPUC, including West Virginia. So you need to express why you need this stimulus. Go on social media, tag your Democratic House members, Democratic senators, and whether you have none or none, or have some or none, then tag another state's Democratic House members or senators. Hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power. If you don't use social media like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, then use the old-fashioned way, the telephone. Call up their Washington, D.C. office, be professional and respectful, and express why you think it's important to have that stimulus check in the forced stimulus package. Explain your issue, and it will be heard. And with that, understand that everyone is talking about your forced stimulus. And let's recap where we are. We're currently underway in the reconciliation process for forced stimulus. It will be done by July 4th. The first vote starts next week. All Democrats are on board, whether it's Joe Manchin or anyone else. They've all made it very clear. They're all aligned, not aligned. Everyone's talking about your forced stimulus in the Democratic caucus. The only people not talking about are people not giving it to you, the GOP and the conservative media. It's important to understand that forced stimulus is always in flux, that ultimately they're marking up the language, and you need to make sure that they get from point A to point Z. And with that, subscribe. I don't want you to miss a single video across the board. Like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. I'm next back with you with Mornings Crypto right after this broadcast in no less than 3 minutes. A lot of big surprises on the crypto markets overnight. Then I'm back with you at noontime LA at 11 a.m. So subscribe. Like this video and consider becoming a member. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful morning, and stay with LALATE for more.